My name is Sam Pane. I'm a woodworker from Omaha, Nebraska. I specialize in turning bottle stoppers and wooden pens. And I think today we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a pen. This right here is the machine that I use to make it. It's called a lathe. It's basically just a motor down at this end in the head. And to make a pen, I use what's called a mandrel. And that's what this bar is right here. We're going to make our pen today out of some beautiful wood called tulip wood, which is from South America. It has a really nice, very striking grain pattern to it with some light pinks and some darker reds in there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I've already drilled them out. They're ready to go onto the mandrel. So I'm going to take it, slide it right on there, add another spacer between our two parts, finish up with a few. I'm going to tighten that onto the mandrel. Now, these slimline pens are very nice because they're very, very thin and they fit just about anywhere. The goal is to get this wood, this square chunk of wood, right down here to the same dimensions as these little spacers. To do that, I'm just going to use my rough and gouge here and some sandpaper. So with that said, it's time to get going and getting some turning done. As you can see, I'm getting closer to those spacers, so I'm going to slow down just a little bit so I can really get rid of the tooling marks that are in there. I like to check it with my fingernail. That's feeling pretty short. I think I'll let sandpaper finish up that one. Now to finish up the back side of the pen. We'll let sandpaper take care of the rest. You can really start to see that striking grain pattern of this tulip wood. It is truly a beautiful exotic wood. To get it down to those spacers, just going to use a little bit of sandpaper. We're going to start at 120, work our way up to 500, and really bring out that pattern. Checking to make sure that we're even. A little tiny bit more down at this end. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off now with some mineral spirits. And let's put a nice high gloss shellac on there to finish up all the woodworking. To do that, I'm going to use this friction polish. Happens is as it turns, it bakes on there real well. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit on the paper towel again. Get some on the wood before we start turning it. And I'm just going to give it a bunch of passes here with the lathe running at high speed. Okay, we've got all the woodworking done. Let's go ahead and assemble the kit. I'm going to go ahead and start by taking off my front end of my pen. I'm going to make sure I remember that this end is the tip. And the easiest way to do that is just go ahead and put the tip right on there. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can go ahead and press that in to that brass tube that's already been inserted. The way I like to do it, I just grab a clamp and squeeze it together. Next step, is we're going to go ahead and put in the twist mechanism here. And the twist mechanism just fits right on into the back end. And I'm going to press it so that it's about to this little ridge right about there. So again, I use the clamp. About 1/8 of an inch to go. Let's test it by putting in the ink. Oh, that is a perfect fit right there. Now, to the back side of the pen, I want to make sure I keep all my grain lined up, so I need to make sure that this gets the clip. So I'll pull it off of the mandrel. Find a nice spot to put the clip. And just like the tip, I press it in with my clamp again. Now, the final part of the assembly, the last little detail that I make sure I do, is when I put the cap back on the right way, I try and line my grain pattern back up so it looks like it was already taken out of just one piece of wood. So I press it together and then I just twist it until I can find the major parts that line up. And that looks like we are there. Just like that, you have a very nice slimline pen made out of some South American tulip wood. Thanks for coming down to visit me in my studio. We hope to see you again.